どうしようかな。
Hey guys, welcome back to Corpse Party, Book of Shadows. Back at this crossroads. I guess leaving the room was a bad idea, apparently, so,
よし、
sure.
少しだけ先生の気分を味わっちゃえ。
I decided I had to try it. During daily cleanup and such, I'd come and gone from this spot countless times. But this was the first time I ever had an opportunity to just stand here and preside over the classroom.
そうか。先生からはこんな風に見えるんだ。教室って。なんかちょっとドキドキする。
Again, given her her aspirations of becoming a teacher, this is kind of important to her. Gaining a teacher's point of view in the most literal sense was starting to get me really fired up. It may seem silly now, but this was my stage. This is where all my dreams would play out.
私もいつか。
I began to imagine the future that awaited me. Painstakingly detailing some new piece of knowledge for students sitting attentively at their desks. Gliding chalk across the board, filling it with information to aid them in their studies.
いつか先生になれるといいな。
Maybe it was the juxtaposition of those joyous, freeing visions and the prickling dread I'd been feeling up until just a minute or two before. But then, in the blink of an eye, one of these two conflicting emotions completely overpowered the other. Huh? Oh no. Up. Time for spoops. Suddenly my surroundings were bathed in darkness. Going stiff with shock, I stumbled back a step. My back struck the blackboard with a dull thud.
いきなり何
Yoshi's come out to say hi. I instinctively grabbed hold of the rail where the eraser sat. I felt chalk dust against my fingertips. My panicked heartbeat was making it difficult to breathe. Was this caused by the thunderstorm? If so, it sure picked a fine time to turn the lights out on me.
しかもオルガンの音まだ響いてる。
Oh.
嘘なんで停電になってるならオルガンだって鳴らないはずなのに。行くな
Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? It's impossible. She was no fortune teller or psychic as far as I was aware. How could she possibly have known this would happen? Again, unless she was the ghost of Yoshi herself. Hell, even if she were a fortune teller or a psychic, predicting the future is the stuff of science fiction. I shook my head.
落ち着くのよ私。音楽室の方はまだ停電になってないとかきっとそんな理由だよ。
Right. Of course. I curled my chalk-dusted fingers into a fist and silently tried to talk some sense into myself.
ともかく早く校舎を出よう。
I shouldn't have been playing teacher. I should have been in and out by now. Cursing myself a little, I fumbled my way through the darkened classroom. So, according to this flashback, Yui already had experience with this whole phenomenon. I spent so much time in here, you'd think I'd be able to find my way out of it with my eyes closed, as it were. But sadly, that wasn't the case. Smashing loudly into a desk, I knocked it on its side and began tumbling after it, instinctively grabbing at other desks around me for support. Ouch.
といけない。机の中身まき散らしちゃったよ。
Don't hurt yourself on something like this.
元に戻さなくちゃ。
Still fumbling around blindly, I gathered up all the scattered notes, textbooks, and writing utensils.
でも暗くて何がなんだか。もう何やってるのよ、急いでるのに。本当にドジなんだから。
Yeah, no kidding. I let out a sigh. I seem to be doing a lot lately.
と、これは教科書とノートでしょ。
I was trying to take inventory of all the things I knocked out of the desk, then realized, why? I might as well just stand it back up and stuff it all back in.
さすがに全部を間違いなく元に戻すのは無理だな。明日ここの席の子に謝らなくちゃ。
Not that it was a particularly pleasant prospect. Explaining what I'd done wouldn't be easy, and no matter how I sugarcoated it, it would serve as a clear indication of my clumsiness. If I didn't say anything, it's not like I'd be found out, but that would be the same as lying as far as I'm concerned, and I couldn't do that.
と、これで最後かな。
I placed my hand against the floor and swept it around, feeling for anything I might have missed. And I found something, all right.
やだ。何これ。なんだかぬるぬるして。
Oh no, what is it? I clearly brushed my fingers across something, but I had no idea what. It was no notebook or writing implement, though, that's for sure.
机の中からなんでブニュブニュしたものが。
What is it? Maybe it had been on the floor all along.
なんだろうこれ。
I rubbed my sticky fingertips a bit deeper into the wet spot, then brought my hand up close to my face so I could get a better look at it. Better look at what was there. What on earth did I just touch? There was a flash of lightning almost immediately, joined by a roaring thunderclap. And with it, for a split second, the pitch-black classroom was lit up bright as day. Oh! Oh, boy! Here we go. I shot to my feet, utterly mortified. In that split second, I got a very good look at my fingers, and it really did seem as if they were covered in blood. But it wasn't just my hand. No, if my peripheral vision were to be trusted, it looked like the entire classroom was stained a deep, dark crimson.
そういえば、なんとなく生臭い気がする。
Without thinking, I backed away from where I was crouching. I tried rationalizing what I saw. How could a whole classroom become a bloodbath like this? Did something spill? Did someone stumble in here injured? Did a black and white teddy bear have a killing game in here?
ありえない。そんな、何よこれ。
Junko, are you here? My whole body was quaking. I fled from the classroom. Or rather, I tried to flee. Huh? Oh, door's locked?
やだやだやだ。
Right, when we tried to leave earlier, the door just slammed on us and died.
鍵なんてかかってなかったのに。今だって鍵はかかってないよ。それなのに
again, one of these instances where the... Is it one of these instances where it just... is just sealed up like it's a wall itself? I pulled on the door handle again and again in a frenzy. I was pulling so hard it felt like my fingernails might tear loose. But it just wouldn't budge. I was absent-mindedly grabbing at my hair with one hand and slammed my fist on a nearby desk with the other. This was a nightmare. Silence saturated the inky blackness of the room. I took several deep breaths in an effort to restrain my pounding heart.
とにかく一度落ち着かないと。そもそもドアが開かないのだって私がこんなにパニックになってるせいかもしれないし、さっきの変な塊だってきっと何かの勘違いだよ。だってありえないじゃない、教室にあんなわけのわからないものが落ちてるだなんて。
I was certain that when I saw what it actually was come morning, it'd end up being something totally random, like someone's old soda-stained gym clothes.
きっとそうだよ。そうだ。指についたのだって美術に使う絵の具かもしれないじゃない。
Yeah, sure. My imagination was just running wild because I was panicking.
もしかしたらドアに何かが挟まってて開かないだけかもしれない。
That's all. I decided to check out that hypothesis by feeling my way across the door and determining if anything was jutting out from any of the cracks.
ダメだ。真っ暗で何にも見えない。
I fumbled around the gaps in the door, but I just couldn't make anything out that would be doing this. And the classroom's rear exit seemed a world away.
他の出口は
No, this was the third floor. I couldn't get out of this classroom without exiting into the hallway.
今すぐ外に出たいのに。
Still at a loss, I noticed a sudden flash of light through the hallway window. But the glass was only translucent, so I couldn't be sure of its source.
誰か歩いてくる。
Then there came the distinctive clomp, clomp, clomp of footsteps.
そうだ、きっと用務員さんだ。
I recall the existence of a custodian who always patrolled the school grounds. I was sure he must have been taking a look around after the sudden power outage.
助かった。
Why do I have the feeling that's not the case? All at once, my fear-addled legs regained their strength. This nightmare would soon be over.
すみません。
I shouted to the custodian through the window, as loudly as I could, as loudly as I could muster.
すみません。閉じ込められてるんです。
I had to be sure he heard me. I shouted again. Finally, I could see the light out in the hallway again, and it seemed to be getting closer. However,
なんかこの光おかしい気がする。
Perturbed, I took a step away from the window.
懐中電灯だったらもっと明るいよね。この光はなんだか。
Like what? Like the faint, unearthly glow classically attributed to spirits, was what I was thinking. I tried to stop myself from finishing that thought. However, dullness aside, it also looked like it was wriggling around in a very unnatural, very unflashlight-like way. There's our word for the day, unflashlight-like.
それにこの足音。
4 clomps, then a 3 or so second interval, then another 4 clumps. They were sounding a fixed rhythm.
用務員さんじゃない。明らかに変な歩き方。
The fear was back, in full force. I had to find somewhere to hide. What if I accidentally summoned something inhuman? I mean, whatever that was, I begged it for help. I literally invited it in.
どこか隠れるところ。そうだ。
Oh. Supply locker or the teacher's podium. How are we gonna hide in there? I hurriedly squeezed myself into the metal locker, where the classroom's cleaning supplies were kept. It was still pitch black in the room, so I really couldn't spare the time it would take to remove its contents. Instead, I just contorted myself to fit. The locker was thick with the smell of mold and varnish.
でも、ここで息を潜めていればきっと見つからないよね。
So I waited. I waited for the footsteps to pass by and fade into the distance, signaling it was safe to emerge.
ずっとこんなところにいたらむせちゃいそうだよ。
I mean, if the door is sealed and you can't get out, then I would hope that means they can't get in. Still, it felt a lot safer in the locker than it did out in the room. But the footsteps weren't receding. They were just getting louder, closer, faster. Oh, jeez. I don't like the sound of that. And then they came to a sudden halt.
え？
They were close, just outside the locker. Oh, jeez. I peered through the ventilation holes. Amidst the utter darkness of the classroom, there wasn't a soul to be seen.
大丈夫。ここにいれば大丈夫。
I'm not sure why I believed that. Maybe because I needed to. Maybe because it was so dark, or because I felt so much calmer in such a tight space where nothing could possibly sneak up behind me. I didn't know why, and I didn't care. I just knew that as far as I was concerned, I was safe in here. So I stood, motionless and cramped, and I waited. I didn't have to wait long.
今、なんか音がした。鍵がかかったような。
Suddenly apprehensive, I gently nudged the supply closet door, just to make sure it would still open for me when I wanted it to.
開かない。
Oh no!
見つけた。
Oh no! I let out a sudden yelp at this unknown voice and tried with all my might to push open the door, blocking my escape.
開かない。開けて。開けたってば。
まだ残ってるの？居残りしてた罰よ。
There was a brief moment of silence following the eerie voice's unsettling proclamation. And then... the metal walls around me on all four sides began warping inward, as if the supply locker had somehow been fed into a trash compactor. Oh no. Oh no. There was no force I could imagine that should have been able to do this, but it was happening. This already confined space was steadily closing in on me. The collapse of the locker all around me continued. Slowly and steadily, I could feel all manner of things pushing and cutting into my body. My vision went bright red. One of the blood vessels in my eyes probably burst from the pressure. I wasn't going to last much longer. The ventilation holes in the locker door were now pressed right up against my face, and through them I could just barely make out the figure of a person. It was the old woman from this morning. She was standing just outside the slats, staring right into my eyes. It was the last sight I would ever see, as the locker finally, inevitably smashed in my skull. Well, great. Okay, well, we know which one was the wrong decision. I guess the podium? I hurriedly hid myself beneath the teacher's podium. I grabbed my knees, curled up, and made myself as small as I could. The footsteps continued to draw nearer and nearer. Little by little, the sound grew louder. Every hair on my body was standing on end. I held my breath, clasped my hands together, and silently prayed. They were close now. Very, very close. Why was this happening? I couldn't make any sense of it. I just wanted it to be over. I prayed to God that it would end. Was this what the old woman was trying to warn me about? Was this all happening because I ignored her? Because I didn't take the paper doll from her? Was it because I heard the ghost story of Yoshi and allowed it to get to me? Or did the strange events of the day have nothing to do with what was happening to me now? I was still holding my breath. I didn't dare let even the tiniest of sounds escape and give away my position. It sounds like they're just pacing right outside the door. The consistent rhythm of the footsteps suddenly ended halfway into one of its cycles. And it ended right in front of this very classroom. Uh-oh. Hi. I had goosebumps up and down my arms and legs. I stopped praying and clasped my hands over my mouth. I knew I'd scream if I didn't. Could this be Yoshi? Was the school legend real? All I could do was close my eyes, keep my mouth shut, and hope that whoever or whatever this was would just go away. But the footsteps sounds didn't start again. If this was indeed Yoshi, Then she'd stop right in front of the classroom and was just standing there. I had no concept of time anymore. I stayed in my hiding spot for what was probably only a few minutes, but it felt like at least an hour.
足音が消えた。
I decided to carefully peek out from under the podium. I gingerly edged my head out just far enough to get a glimpse of the room when suddenly... Oh, jeez. Oh, Lord, they coming. The footsteps rang out once more. It sounded like they were headed right for me, and they might have been inside the room. I honestly couldn't tell. I scrambled back into my hiding spot and covered my mouth with both hands. This was too much for me. My breathing was coarse and erratic, and my face was a mess of tears and snot.
神様、助けて。
Oh, God's not gonna save you now. I was inconsolable. The footsteps just wouldn't stop. What on earth were they doing? It almost seemed like they were running around in circles just to scare me.
やめて。もう、やめて。
I mouthed those words over and over again and moved my hands to my ears in a vain attempt to block out this torturous sound. And as if in response, the sound changed. Oh shit. It was a loud, dull thud, followed by silence. No more footsteps. I heard that sound hundreds of times before. It was the classroom door sliding open. Oh shit. I peeked out, but the door was still tightly shut. How could that be? If the sound I heard wasn't the door, then what was it? What little safety I felt here was pretty much gone, but to be fair, I wasn't absolutely certain the spirit had seen or heard me either. The prospect of stepping out into the open wasn't a desirable one, but I had to decide if it was better to stay where I was or to make a break for it. Ooh. Should we stay hidden for now?
きっとやり過ごせるよ。大丈夫。
But it only took a moment for that decision to come back and bite me. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. My body was suddenly weighed down. In an instant, without knowing what was happening, my fatally positioned form was essentially locked in place. It was like a boulder had fallen on top of me and was resting on my arched back. I twisted and shuffled myself around, trying to shake it off, but the more I struggled, the heavier it became. And what's more, it felt like it was slowly inching its way toward my head, as if it were planning on dropping down in front of my face. Was this a person?
誰だ
It was a female voice, reverberating ominously, as if bubbling up from the depths of hell. I squirmed violently, desperate to throw her off me.
皆さんで追いかけっこしましょうか
No, thank you! Oh, shit. My vision went red, or at least it felt that way. Whoever was on my back had dug her razor-sharp fingernails right into my eyes. I collapsed on the spot. The pain was instantaneous and unbearable. I could no longer hold my position. I could no longer focus on anything but this agony.
悪い子にはお仕置き です
pain shot through my head in waves. It was indescribable, unthinkable. I couldn't take it any longer. My consciousness faded, and I was gone. I would never know exactly what had happened to me, but maybe I was better off that way. God damn. Okay. Okay. So. Okay, then let's make a break for it. Staying in one place for too long seemed like it would be inviting trouble, so I took a deep breath and reluctantly crawled out, as quietly as I could. But almost immediately I felt something. Something long and thin had struck me in the back of the head. Or perhaps struck isn't the right word. There was a little force behind it, but it wasn't a hard slam, more like someone trying to get my attention.
木の棒？うん。これは指？
Oh. I knew I wouldn't like what I was going to see, but I had to face whatever it was. So, I turned around. And there, looming over me, was...
まだ残ってる。早く帰りなさい。
A figure was peering down at me from above the podium, with one emaciated, wishbone-like finger extended toward my face. I recognized this person instantly. No doubt about it. This was the strange old woman who supposedly passed away earlier. It's gotta be Yoshi, isn't it? I was scared out of my mind. I tumbled the rest of the way out from under the podium and shot to my feet. A ghost. There really was a ghost in the school. My breathing was ragged and my heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. Plowing through all the desks in my way, I ran as fast as I could toward the classroom door. But that was as far as I could go.
どうしたの?
There, on the other side of the door, tied up against the glass, was the old woman. She was glowing bluish white, the source of the light from earlier. But how in the world did she get to the door before I did? How'd she get out of the room so quickly, and position herself so perfectly to block my exit? I felt like I was starting to hyperventilate and tried as best as I could to calm my breathing as my eyes darted around the room. I need to get out of here now, to get as far away from this place as I possibly could.
前のドアから出られないとなると、外に出るには後ろのドアから出るしか。でもそうすると廊下は前のドアにいるあの幽霊の後ろを通らないと出口にはつかない。そんなの無理。でも。
I bit my lip and continued scanning the room.
何かあれに対抗できるようなものがあればいいんだけど。
I didn't have time to think carefully about it, but I just had to grab something and hope for the best. There were two choices, and I had to pick one on impulse before it was too late. Oh, jeez. Okay, salt is usually good against ghosts, but...
どうしよう。
When I looked over, the spirit of the old woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the doorframe. She really was trying to catch me. I wasn't just being paranoid. She was trying to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. I was convinced this had to be Yoshi, the teacher from that urban legend. I had the sudden sensation of someone seizing me by the throat, accompanied by an unpleasant crunching sound. God, she really did have me by the throat. I couldn't breathe. For as old and frail as she looked, she was uncommonly strong.
捕まえた。
She was actually gripping me so tightly that she managed to raise me off the ground by my neck. I could see her slender, bony hand in the periphery of my vision and feel it cutting into my trachea. Was that hand really holding me in the air against my will, kicking and flailing me by just the tissue and bones of my neck? I couldn't struggle anymore. I was like a puppet on a string.
今度はあなたが鬼よ。
Alright, fun game. With a sudden crack, my field of vision shifted 90 degrees and everything turned blood red.
あらあら、私と同じね。
Man, poor Yui is suffering so much abuse in this one. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, make a break for it. We didn't get the choice again.
木の棒？これは
Oh, wait. Okay.
これって科学の実験の時に使った塩の残りだよね。
This looks like leftover salt from an old chemistry experiment. Yeah, again, we see that seems to be effective against ghosts, right? I heard that salt was used in purification rituals, so it seemed like a natural choice.
よし、これを持っていこう。
I placed the salt in my packet as a sort of protective charm.
怖いけど行くしかない。
When I looked over, the spirit of the old woman was holding out her hand from the other side of the doorframe. She really was trying to catch me. I wasn't just being paranoid. She was going to kill me and turn me into a ghost like her. I was convinced this had to be Yoshi, the teacher from that urban legend.
やだ、そんなの。
Bracing myself, I darted toward the door at the back end of the classroom. There wasn't a moment to lose. If I didn't act fast, I probably wouldn't be able to act at all. I threw the door open and just began running at top speed, hoping to escape behind the spirit's back. Unsurprisingly, trying to outrun a ghost proved to be a fruitless endeavor. The spirit saw me and moved at breakneck speed to intercept. I thrust my hand into my pocket and withdrew the bag of salt, then threw the entire thing directly at the old woman's face. Yeah, that's salt.
いるんだ、この隙に。
Saltier than a round of a FPS multiplayer. I ran down the hall as fast as my legs would carry me, briefly glancing over my shoulder, after a moment to confirm that the spirit was still writhing. I just kept on running down that dark hallway with nothing but adrenaline and mortal fear to keep me going. I reached a stairwell at the end of the hall and made a mad dash toward ground level. I was determined to get out of this building alive. Finally, still moving at top speed, I reached the window door leading outside. Luckily, the malevolent spirit hadn't caught up to me yet. It actually seemed like I might be able to escape. I might actually survive this. I grabbed the handle and tried pulling it. Oh, that's locked. Or maybe I could hide somewhere and throw Yoshi off my trail. I had no particular destination in mind. My only thought was anywhere but here. After maybe 30 seconds, I found myself in the second floor hallway. There was an outside corridor connecting the two buildings of the school there. It was the first alternate escape route that came to mind. Naturally, it was walled off from the outside for safety purposes, but the wall wasn't so big that I couldn't scale it in a pinch. I didn't really want to jump from the second floor of the school, but if I had to, I was confident I'd at least survive the fall with minimal injury. I climbed the wall faster than I thought possible and dropped down to the narrow ledge on the other side. It was just wide enough to sit down. My back was to the hallway, but my location should have been completely hidden from anyone inside the school. I looked down at the muddy ground below me. I really couldn't see much though. The outside was completely dark. It was so dark that it felt almost like the whole world had been draped in a black veil. I opened the pen case in my pocket and pulled out the pencil I received from Tsukasa. Was I really treating this stubby little pencil as a protective charm? Tsukasa said it would guarantee success on my test, not ward off evil spirits. Still, it was better than nothing. I clutched it tightly in my hands and prayed. I whispered the words so quietly I might as well have been mouthing them, but that seemed to be all the opening that damn spirit needed. Uh-oh. I sensed a presence on the ledge with me, and was so startled I almost fell from my perch. However, I could only sense her there. I didn't actually see her, and thought for one brief moment that maybe I was letting my imagination run wild. But then I felt the horrible sensation of something coiling itself around my arm. Oh, Jesus. Oh, shit. Before I knew it, a tall, shadowy figure had half emerged from the wall behind me, and she had me in her grasp. There wasn't much more to her than an indistinct, flickering silhouette, but I could clearly see she had a broken neck. Was this a different apparition? Her scraggly, root-like fingers were squeezing my arm with tremendous force, pushing aside muscle and tissue and pressing right on the bone. I was shaking hysterically and tears were streaming down my face. I was absolutely convinced I was gonna die here. There, Sachiko, her daughter, was... I could offer no resistance. She was too strong. All I could do was plead with her. I felt like my arm would snap in two at any moment.
ずーっと一緒にいましょうね。
She wasn't just grabbing, but twisting as well. The pain was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. I couldn't think about anything else. Stopping it had become my first and only priority. I struggled violently against the spirit's grip, ultimately breaking free by throwing my body off the wall, toward the unseen earth below. Oh no. In the face of death, everything really does seem to slow down. I'd read somewhere that this is because the brain is sending out all kinds of distress signals or something. Slow motion or not, though, I was fully aware of my surroundings. I was cascading through the air just outside my school building. If this is a dream, please let me wake up from it right now. Those were the words echoing through my head as I clutched Tsukasa's pencil tight against my bosom, like a prayer talisman. Moments later, I crashed into the ground, and a horrible squelching sound echoed in my ears. My neck was... Tsukasa's pencil had pierced deep into my throat. Oh no. Blood was spurting everywhere. I was practically drowning in it. I landed right on it, and it wasn't long before I gasped my final gasp. Jesus. Bad ending number 5. Okay, we're just about... We should be just about there, though, right? Ah, yes. Yeah, Chapter 5 seems to have the most endings diverging from it. I was pretty sure this fall would kill me. With a controlled jump, I might have been able to survive, but I was tumbling like a ragdoll. I was a goner. I couldn't even remember what you were supposed to do in a situation like this. Try to flip over? Brace for impact? In one last-ditch attempt at survival, I stretched out both my arms. Maybe somebody would be waiting there to grab them. Maybe somebody would save me. Somebody actually did. I honestly wasn't expecting that. I really thought there was no hope. But then, in the last second, I was yanked to safety.
獅子堂
Oh! Tsukasa's here.
司君
大丈夫かつかめ俺の腕
I held onto his arms with all my might, and against seemingly impossible odds, I was pulled in. My life was saved. This was like a scene out of some anime. It shouldn't have happened. It was too convenient, but I wasn't about to complain.
よく頑張ったな
どうして司君
今はしのごの言ってる場合じゃない逃げるぞ
Tsukasa was still holding on to me tightly after coming to my rescue. He took off down the hall back into the heart of the school with me in tow.
チキショーなんだよさっきのは俺は夢でも見てるのか
He practically spit those words as he continued running.
どうしてここに司君が
I tried to match his gait, and once we were a bit more in sync, I looked up at his face. He was fast. After we reached the end of the hall, he suddenly veered into the last classroom before the stairwell, pulling me in with him.
獅子堂お前怪我はないか
大丈夫私はもう一人で歩けるから
ああ悪い
I moved away from Tsukasa and almost immediately spilled onto the ground like a house of cards.
おい大丈夫じゃないじゃん
そうだけどでもすぐに
無理すんなよ
Tsukasa grabbed my arm to help me up. Unfortunately, it was the arm Yoshi had been twisting. Oh.
と悪いやっぱり腕怪我してるのか
よくわかんないでもすっごく痛いよ焼けるみたい
I draped my other hand over the sore spot, where I assumed there was probably one hell of a bruise. I started rubbing gently, but it didn't help at all.
そうかじゃあ保健室ですぐに手当てした方がいいな
でもそしたらまた
あいつが来るって
Just thinking about going back out there and facing Yoshi made me shudder. I couldn't believe he was even entertaining the idea.
心配すんなもし仮にあいつが来ても俺が絶対お前を守ってやるからな
司君
Tsukasa's gentle reassurance actually made me forget the pain in my arm for a moment. I had to stop myself from blushing, or try to, at any rate.
怪我は一刻も早く手当てした方がいいってまあどうせ先生なんかいないだろうけど応急手当てくらいなら俺にだってできるよし行くぞ
Tsukasa offered me his hand, and I graciously took it, squeezing it tightly as he led me back into the hallway.
司君の手あったかい
Despite the fact that nothing had really changed, I was still in just as much danger as I had been. The paralyzing fear I had been feeling was gone. If it were just me, I would have never been able to do this. I would have frozen up, but with Tsukasa leading the way, I felt like I could do anything.
獅子堂少し走るけど大丈夫か
With my blessing, Tsukasa upped its pace significantly.
もうあいつが出てきませんように。
I prayed silently for smooth sailing as I followed Tsukasa's lead.
このまま司くんと一緒にいられれば安心。
I gently squeezed his hand again, as if to reassure myself that he was still with me. I was starting to think maybe Yoshi was gone. Maybe we thwarted her. But of course, just as I was thinking that, she made her presence known again. An unearthly voice reverberated through the dark corridor. I immediately drew myself into Tsukasa's back.
もっと連れてこい。
Oh. Over Tsukasa's shoulder, I saw the same shadow-like spirit from before. It must have been waiting here to ambush us. The ghost was moaning and wavering before us. We'd never be able to get past it.
私のために何でもしてくれる。
おい、獅子堂。俺があいつを引きつけるから、その隙に走って逃げろ。
やだよ、一緒に逃げて。
俺には秘密兵器があるのさ。
You do?
俺のばあさんからもらった形見のお守り。さっきあいつにこれを向けたら少し割りやがった。
形見のお守り？
あ
あ。でも司くんやっぱり危険。
俺？まあなんとかなるだろう。
そんな。
待ちなさい。
We really didn't have time to be arguing. It was closing in fast. And as it did, I noticed the spirit's figure had become more defined. She was a tall young woman with her head turned sideways at a 90-degree angle. The tale of Yoshi suggests she fell down a flight of stairs, so a broken neck would certainly fit.
早く走れ!
He gave my back a shove to get me started, and with no time to eject, I unconsciously obliged. Tsukasa ran too, darting ahead of me for a few short moments.
おい、化け物! こっちだ!
待ちなさい。
Tsukasa ran as close as he possibly could to get Yoshi's attention, then turned tail and began sprinting off in the opposite direction.
こっちだぞ! 化け物!
Amazingly, it worked. The spirit began chasing Tsukasa, leaving me completely unobstructed.
どうしよう。私このまま一人逃げてもいいの？
I was torn. On the one hand, I knew this was my best chance, but I couldn't help worrying about what would happen to Tsukasa if his charm failed. I stopped for a moment and glanced over my shoulder. He was still running, and the shadowy figure was still in hot pursuit.
司くん、お守り出して！危ないよ！
いいから、行けって！お前が逃げ切ったのを確認したら、俺も逃げるからさ！
I still can't believe I fell for it, but this was right about when I realized the truth. Tsukasa had no protective charm. He just made that up so I wouldn't object too strongly to him serving as a decoy while I got away.
やっぱりダメ！
Oh. I stopped in my tracks and shouted out at the top of my lungs.
よしえ先生
I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting myself into, but I had to do something, and calling the spirit's name definitely seemed to have an effect.
あなたの名前知ってるわよ
おい、獅子だ。
All at once, the black figure was facing me. Though I never saw her turn around, she was flying toward me now, ignoring Tsukasa.
怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない怖くない
I repeated this like a mantra and stuck one hand in my pocket, grasping tightly onto the one and only item I stashed there.
お前は私を知っているのか。
私には本当にお守りがある
Tsukasa's care, his effort, his beliefs, they were all packed into this pencil. And when you get right down to it, that's what a charm is, right? I squeezed the nubby little thing in my pocket, mentally preparing myself for the confrontation ahead. The confrontation I'd impulsively initiated.
獅子だ、逃げろ。
逃げない私は逃げないわ神様どうかお願い助けて
I closed my eyes, lifted my head from my pocket, and brandished Tsukasa's pencil intently. The gauntlet had been thrown. I was putting a lot of faith into this, and I really hoped I hadn't made a mistake in doing so.
私は獅子のゆいこの学校で先生を目指しているわ
I opened my eyes to find that the shadowy spirit, Yoshi, had stopped dead in her tracks. Did it work? Was Tsukasa's pencil keeping this vengeful soul at bay?
私の代わ
Oh,
りいらない。死ね。
oh dear. Suddenly, I was whisked off my feet and slammed against the ceiling.
獅子だ。
I could see him down below. He was staring up at me and desperately leaping. He was trying to catch me, I suppose, even though he knew he'd never reach.
カサ君
I called out to him over and over again in my mind. If he could get away, if he could survive this ordeal, then it would all have been worth it. Yoshi was drawing near, and I was helplessly pinned to the ceiling. I had no chance at all. There was no doubt in my mind that my life was over. I clung to the relief I felt at Tsukasa's safety. It was the only thing keeping me from losing my head entirely. Then, all at once, the situation took a complete 180. It was like a miracle. Huh?
そこまでにせい。
Wait, what? Before I had any idea what was happening, I found myself bathed in a gentle light. Wait. The woman from this morning.
守ってやれんですまんな。せめてこれ以上邪術が
Wait,
拡大せぬこと。
She's not? Is that old woman from before and Yoshi, they're not one and the same. It was the old woman who collapsed in front of my house. She was standing down below me, enveloped in a warm glow. The black shadow lunged toward her. Then there was a horrific noise, and the old woman was gone.
獅子だ。
And just like that, I fell to the ground. Whatever Yoshi had done to me, the old woman must have nullified it. That must have been why she came to me this morning, and why she had come again now. I felt like I was going to faint. Tsukasa ran to my side and gently scooped me off the ground into his arms. Yoshi's spirit was gone. She vanished along with the light. Around us now, the only sound was the pitter-patter of raindrops on the school roof.
おい、シシド、シシド。
司君。
Suffered quite a bump on the head from my fall and was decidedly disoriented, but I still had enough sense to put my arms around Tsukasa's neck.
バカ、逃げろって言ったのに。
ごめん。でも。
I wanted to protect you. I couldn't bear the thought of losing you. Is that what I wanted to say? But instead I just passed out in his arms. I felt as though I was waking from a long, horrible dream.
おい、大丈夫か？ おい、シシド？
ここどこ？
本当に大丈夫か？見ればわかるだろ。学校の保健室だって。
保健室。
It occurred to me to look at my surroundings. Probably something I should have done before asking about them, but in my defense, I was out cold. Beige walls, pink curtains, white beds with solid blue covers. This was indeed the school infirmary, no doubt about it.
どうして？
どうしてもこうしても、お前があんなところで倒れてたから、ここに連れてきてやったんじゃん。
Huh?
あんなところ？
おいおい、まだ具合悪いんじゃないのか？肛門だよ、肛門。
校門に？
By the
私
gate.
そこに倒れてったの？
そうだけど。
私確かに学校の中でヨシエさんから逃げて、そうだ、腕を怪我して、腕なんともない。
はあ？腕？
What kind of weird twist is this?
夢だったの？そんなはずない。だって本当に痛くて死んじゃいそうだったのに。
ああ、まあなんか様子が変だけど、とにかく無事でほっとしたよ。こういうのって虫の知らせって言うんだな。なんとなく気になってお前ん家に行ったら、お前のお母さんに学校に行ったって聞いてな。そしたらあんなところに倒れてるんだもんな。
司くん、
まあとりあえず詳しい話は後で聞くからさ。ちょっと待ってな。
Oh?
あ、司くん言っちゃった。ヨシエさんのこと聞こうと思ったのに。
あら、シシドさん、目が覚めたのね。
先生、
驚いたわよ。三国くんが血相変えて私を呼びに来るんだもの。私が当直でよかったわね。
ご迷惑をおかけしてすみません。
それはいいのよ。でもあなたずいぶんうなされていたから悪い夢でも見てたんじゃない？
悪い夢？
そうよ。
is that all
三
it
國くん
was?
もすごく心配してたわよ。
Wait,
そう
who,
だ。
who's Mikuni?
やっぱりきっと悪い夢なんだ。昼間に怖い話とか聞いちゃったし。
ともかくもう大丈夫？
はい。
そう、よかったわ。
The nurse smiled cheerfully and disappeared behind the partitioning curtain. Letting out a sigh, I laid myself down on the bed once more. It was dead silent. The rain must have let up. The only sound I heard was an occasional cough from the nurse, who was otherwise going about her business quietly.
あ、そういえばペンケース。
Oh yeah, that was what she came here for. I thrust my hands in my pockets, not really expecting to find it, but
ちゃんとある。
the pen case, complete with Tsukasa's pencil talisman inside, was present and accounted for. Which meant that
私やっぱり教室には行ったんだ。
I made it to my classroom.
やっぱり
Maybe it
夢じゃない。
wasn't a dream after all.
おーい。
あ、司くんおかえり。
I was still trying to remember exact details about what happened, but I unexpectedly felt something cold pressed against my cheek.
これって。
お前うなされてただろ。汗もかいてたし喉乾いたんじゃないかなと思ってさ。ほらコーヒー牛乳。
Oh,
ありがとう。
Tsukasa went out of his way to buy this just for me? It was a lovely gesture. How could I possibly refuse?
お前さ明日というかもう今日か推薦の試験だろ。何時からだ。
9時。
あと4時間か。
4 hours then. So it's 5 o'clock now?
無理だよ今日は。
I've been put through hell on earth. Taking a test was the furthest thing from my mind. I was in tears, and I had no idea why. Maybe it was because I was so relieved, so glad to be alive.
Oh. よし。なあ、シシド。起きれるか。
え？
ちょうどいいから、お前にいいもの見せてやるよ。
いいもの？
おう、そうだな。むしろ、お前には見てほしいんだ。
うん。
My nose was still running, but my heart felt a lot lighter. I no longer felt threatened by this school. I was comfortable and safe. The two of us left the nurse's office, with Tsukasa in the lead, and even though I was holding a cold coffee in my hand, I still felt warm all over. Neither of us said a thing as he led me through the empty halls. It occurred to me that when we last saw one another, I was mad at him.
ほら、シシド。着いたぞ。
ここって渡り廊下？
まあまあ、もうすぐだからちょっと待てよ。
もうすぐ？
I had no idea what I was looking for. I just kept staring at him, but his eyes were fixed on the window, leaning out into the walkway. As I gazed upon him in profile, I felt my heart skip a beat.
昨日のこと謝らなくちゃいけない。
But I just wasn't sure what to say. I let my feelings get the better of me and reprimanded him for behavior that was, at least at the time, entirely reasonable. There was more to it than that, though. There was one particular reason, more than any other, that made it hard for me to think of the words to say here. He and I had run from Yoshi together. We escaped her wrath against insurmountable odds, and what if that wasn't all just a dream?
お、出てきたぞ。
I followed Tsukasa's pointing finger, and
朝日
huh?
すごいすごい。
俺ここでよく夕日を眺めてるんだけどさ、
Oh, I
朝日もいい
see.
もんだな。
綺麗だよ。街がオレンジに染まっていく。
お、元気出てきたな。
ここって司くんの言ってた例の場所だよね。
おう、うん。
今まで絶対に教えてくれなかったのに、どうして今日はその教えてくれるの？
別になんとなく。
なんとなくって。
I could think of a reason, but I didn't say anything. It just seemed kind of far-fetched to me, and if I were misinterpreting him, I'd be very embarrassed. He couldn't possibly, could he? My face felt kind of warm. I placed the sweaty cafe au latte can on my cheek and sighed softly.
どうした？顔赤いぞ。
Aww.
そう
まだ具合悪いんじゃないのか？
そんなことないよ。そのほら朝日が赤いせい。
ああ、
Mhm.
なるほどな。
Boys can be so dense sometimes.
頑張れよ。今からすぐ戻って準備すりゃ間に合うだろ。
ありがとう。司くんのそれ好き。
え？
それとあとごめんね。
なんで謝るんだよ。
あ、いやその昨日ほらなんかちょっと気まずくなっちゃったし、七不思議の話して。
ああああ、そんなこともあったっけ？
そんなこともって私は結構気にしてたんだけどな。
女子はほんと細かいこと気にするよな。俺は全然何とも思ってなかったのに。
そっか。
I let out another sigh and turned back toward the morning sun, stretching my arms skyward as a sudden wave of exhaustion overcame me. The day got brighter bit by bit, and I just stood there silently trying to piece together all the jumbled thoughts rattling around in my head. I was running away from Yoshi, and Tsukasa was with me. Then I was saved by that old woman.
やっぱり夢だよね、あんなの。
As the bright rays of the sun washed over me, I felt new life and new hope welling up from within, and I finally came to terms with those horrid events. Most likely I got the pen case without incident, but then, on my way back, something hit my head and knocked me out. That would be just my luck.
あ、ちょっとシシド、動くなよ。そのまま、そのまま。
I didn't know what he was planning to do, but he was staring right at me. It felt kind of like he was staring into my soul. And then... Slowly, Tsukasa drew his face toward mine.
これって。
シシド。
嘘。何こ
confess. I shut my eyes. I was ready for this. Or maybe I just didn't want to look. But the next sensation I felt wasn't quite the one I was expecting. Oh no, what's
師
going
匠
on?
これ大丈夫か？
He grabbed my arm for some reason and was staring down at it intently.
何よ紛らわしいな。で、やだ、何これ。
Huh? Turns out he was just concerned by the strange bruise I had apparently received, which had momentarily become visible when I raised my arms. Oh, the bruises again. It was right around my elbow. Where we... Right where she had grabbed me in my dream.
痛そうだな。
全然痛くないけど。
けど
But what?
なんでもないよ。
Giving a wry smile, I gently pulled my arm from his
ね
grip.
え、司くん。
ん
帰る前に一つお願いがあるんだけど。
なんだよ。
手繋いでもいい？
Aww.
手ダメかな。なんでという彼の言葉にはなんとなくと答えた。そっと指先を掴んだだけの軽いものだったけど、初めて私はお互いの心がつながっているのを感じた気がして、とても嬉しかったのを覚えている。
ゆい先生、ゆい先生
Oh, is the flashback finally over?
ゆい先生ってば
I knew I heard that voice before, but who was it? Was I just dreaming it again? I still felt like I was holding Tsukasa's hand, though.
ゆい先生って手 やっと起きた。
あら？え？持田くん？
そうだよ、持田聡だよ。
Okay, you're out of your little wet dream.
と
I was still dazed. I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was that one of my students, Satoshi Mashida, was there, and he looked concerned.
ゆい先生、いい加減手を。
あら！
I finally realized what he was talking about. I was holding Machida's hand in my own and squeezing it awfully tightly.
やだ！ごめんなさい！私ったら…
Oh, I still see the bruise on her arm.
いいけどさ、ゆい先生、結構握力強いんだな。
あら、そう？これでも昔はか弱く儚い美少女として巷に名を馳せたものだけど。
それどこから突っ込んでいいの？
手厳しいわね。
Machida was a good student. He and I got along well, and we were already falling back into our usual pattern of good-natured ribbing, but…
ちょっと待って。どうして持田くんがうちにいるの？
それさっき話したじゃん。
I guess she was so out of it she doesn't remember any of it.
その調子じゃ何も覚えてないんでしょ。
何も？
さっき俺の作ったおかゆ食って薬飲んでまた寝たじゃないか。その時話したのに。本当に綺麗さっぱり覚えてない？
全然。
笑えないよ、もう。
Machida sighed and pointed at the
あ
table.
れ、山崎先生からの届け物。
もしかしてわざわざそれを届けに来てくれたの？
そうだよ。そしたらゆい先生があんまりにひどい状態だったから飯作って。あ、キッチン借りていいって言ったのはモネだから。
そっか、モネちゃんがね。
Kitty. I stroked Monet's neck and he lied down contentedly on my futon. Such a pretty kitty. I was getting kind of wrapped up in petting him, as I often did. I almost forgot Machida was there, until he let out a huge sigh.
ゆい先生、玄関の鍵は閉めないと不用心だよ。
あら、開いてた？
うん。今回ばかりは開いてて助かったけど、でも今後はちゃんと閉めないとダメだからな。
気をつけるわ。
なんで笑うの？
持田くん、私のお母さんみたいだから。
うわ、複雑。
I didn't mean to laugh. I must have seemed some kind of deranged, but I could always blame it on the fever. Machida looked at me and let out another sigh. My poor sense of humor must have been getting to him.
でもまあ、だいぶ元気になってきたみたいでよかったよ。
そうみたい。
結構寝てたもんな、ゆい先生。
そうね。確か今朝風邪でめまいがして、学校にお休みの電話をして、モネちゃんのご飯を用意して、そこから先の記憶がないのよね。
あれ、コンビニ行ったんじゃないの？
コンビニ？
Oh yeah, he found that bag.
冷却シートと弁当があって、ほらこれ、レシートの時間。今朝になってるけど。
本当だ。
もしかしてゆい先生、コンビニ行ったこと覚えてないの？うわー、もうしっかりしてくれよ。まさかパジャマで出かけたりしてないよな？
そんなことはないと思うけど。
どうかな。笑ってごまかさない。
ごめんごめん。持田くん、私のことずっと看病してくれてたの？
うん。
そう。遅くまでごめんなさいね。
It was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. I couldn't believe Machida had been with me this whole time. I felt both guilty and grateful, and I definitely gained a new respect for him.
おかゆ、まだちょっと残ってるから腹減ったら食べてよ。あとそれからこれ。
スーパーの袋？
冷蔵庫を見たら何もなかったからさ、ついでに買っておいたよ。
The bag was quite heavy. Inside it was a bottle of orange juice, some bananas, canned peaches, apples, and other assorted fruits.
これ
風邪の時ってビタミンを取るといいんだろ。それ食べて早く良くなってよ。
持田くん。
That much fruit couldn't have come cheap, especially for a high schooler. Considered offering to pay him back, but decided against it. I knew he wouldn't take my money, and besides, I really appreciate the fact that he'd gone to all this trouble for me. Aww. I'd return the favor another time. If it ever seemed like he was going to be staying late after school, maybe I'd buy him dinner. Or I could help him with preparations for the school festival.
じゃあ俺帰るよ。
あ、大丈夫？道わかるかしら？なんなら途中まで見送りに行くわよ。
大丈夫だよ。ゆい先生はおとなしく寝てて。まだ本調子じゃないんだし。第一、夜道を女の人一人で歩くなんて危険だよ。
持田くんは優しいね。そういうとこキュンとしちゃう。
あれ？そういうこと俺に言っていいの？
なんで？
Machida and I joked like this a lot. Usually it made him blush and get adorably embarrassed. But not today. Today he just grinned sheepishly, with a mischievous glint in his eyes. I didn't quite get it. What was his angle?
司くんって誰？先生の恋人？
Ah.
どうしてそれ？
ゆい先生寝てる時ずっとその人のこと呼んでたよ。うなされながら何度も「司くん司くん」って。誰なんだよ。
That crafty Machida turned the tables on me. How embarrassing to know that I'd been calling Tsukasa's name.
それは
I hesitated to answer for a moment, but then I figured, what the hell, why not?
司くんはね、私の初恋の人。
Was? What happened
その様
to
子じゃ
Did
ゆい
something
先
happen
生
to
はよっ
him?
ぽどその人のことが好きだったんだね。だって先生さっきすごかったよ。俺のこと司って人と間違えてたでしょ。
Yeah, you were coming on to him and everything.
やだ。
ゆい先生顔赤いよ。
これは熱のせいよ、きっと。
Uh-huh.
まあいいや。そういうことにしてあげる。
もうあんまり大人をからかわないで。
だってこんなゆい先生めったに見れないからさ。
I wasn't sure he was ever going to give me the full story of all the embarrassing things I'd done in my fevered days, but maybe it was better that he didn't. Either way, I was in his debt, so he could tease me all he wanted. Just this once.
やばい。そろそろ帰らないと。ゆかがカンカンだ。
今日はありがとね。もう暗いから気をつけて帰るのよ。
はーい。それじゃあ先生、食事をきちんととって頑張って早く治してくれよ。
頑張る。
ファイト。
ありがとう。いい子だな、持田くんは。いかんいかん。あの子は生徒だぞ。
Oh, what's that mean?
おいで、モネちゃん。一緒に寝よっか。
Aw, kitty.
会いたいな司くん。
Okay, that was it. Chapter 3. Clear. Okay. Oh, man. Well, that went on for a lot longer than I intended, but we did it. We're through Chapter 3. Next time, we'll start Chapter 4. I'll see you guys then.
I'm playing a game.